Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I'm Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us, coming to you from our fantastic Central Washington location right here outside of Cle Elum, Washington. America, about 10 million of you to be exact, we need to talk. Now, as I was driving over here with Gun Law Jr. yesterday, I said, hey, listen, I heard about this story. I skimmed it a little bit in the New York Post. Pull it up for me real quick. It was about the number of gun owners and hunters in the United States that are not registered to vote. You know, all the ones that are willing to sit on the sideline. And when Gun Law Jr. told me the number, 10 million, I about drove the car off the roadway. And when you start breaking down these numbers and you see where some of these numbers are, and you take a look at some of the margins of error that we've been operating within, you're going to understand that we have really squandered a massive opportunity. And this huge battle that we're facing right now against all of our inalienable rights, we're in large part responsible for allowing that to happen. So today I'm going to share with you the numbers, and we're going to start something here that I hope spreads like wildfire. So today, let's spend a few minutes, America, and let's talk about vote or shut the hell up. Dateline, July 9th, 2024, a story in the New York Post. That's what we're talking about today. It appears that according to the organization voteforamerica.org, there is 10 million hunters and or lawful and otherwise responsible gun-owning Americans out there who have not even bothered to register to vote. That means there is going to be 10 million individuals who do not want to participate in democracy this November. And we'll explain what the number one reason is that's been given, and we'll address that today. But I also want you to understand that when you start taking a look at where a large majority of this 10 million is, you're going to see that it would have made a massive difference in a lot of elections. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a microscope to another election that a lot of you followed here on the YouTuberverse and show you once again how this apathy is costing us big time. Okay, so as if the 10 million of you out there who are not registered to vote is bad enough, I want you to understand where a huge majority of these individuals live. Pennsylvania has 515,277. Both Michigan and North Carolina have roughly 370,000 individuals who are either lawful and responsible gun owners or hunters who are not registered to vote. Oh, but it gets worse than that, because these states all have over 500,000 individuals who are either lawful and responsible gun owners or hunters or both, which many of the hunters I'm assuming are both, who have not even bothered to register to vote. And they include Georgia, Wisconsin, Missouri, and Virginia. And I want you to think about how critical those states have been in presidential elections. I want you to think how critical House and Senate races have been in those states. I want you to think even how critical the gubernatorial races have been, and how much of an opportunity has been squandered by the mere fact that everybody is willing to just sit on the sideline. Hey, even the state of Montana has over 52,000 individuals who are either hunters or lawful and responsible gun owners who have not registered to vote. And Montana, you got a couple of really close races this year. So I'm asking all of you out there, get off the sideline and get in the game. Now, I know a lot of you are like, yeah, but how much difference does this gonna really make? Well, let's take a look at a very interesting primary that occurred for the United States House of Representatives in the 23rd District of Texas between an incumbent, Tony Gonzalez, and his challenger, somebody that everyone knows out here, Brandon Herrera. Now, Tony Gonzalez got just under 26,000 votes in the first go-around of the primary and ended up in a runoff against Mr. Herrera. However, during the runoff race, Tony Gonzalez received a mere 15,023 votes. And as you can see here, beat Brandon Herrera by a mere 354 votes. And again, I'm not going to second guess what the Herrera campaign did, because they went a long way, and this was actually an amazing campaign. They came this close to picking off an incumbent congressman, which is virtually impossible. But had some of that time and energy been spent going out and getting the vote out rather than just beating the hell out of Tony Gonzalez, well, it's likely that Mr. Herrera would now be headed to the general election running for Congress out of the 23rd Legislative District in Texas. Oh, and by the way, to give you an idea how poor the vote really was, yeah, when Tony Gonzalez ran in the general election 2 years earlier and won re-election, he received 116,649 votes, or roughly 1,000% more than what he received in the runoff primary between himself and Mr. Herrera. So yeah, if you think that your vote's not going to count, just think, if about 365, 375 people in that legislative district would have just gone out and registered and voted, the results could have been different. Less than 400 individuals could have changed that election. Now, what's the big reason that everyone gave Vote for America for not wanting to vote? Well, they believe that their vote will never ever count and that the system is rigged. I'm going to address both of those issues because some of you may actually be watching this video. And I want to address both of those issues because I get where you're coming from, but I want you to take a step back and I want you to consider it this way. Number one, why would you ever believe that your vote doesn't count and it will never make a difference when the other side already believes that? Why would you ever legitimize their absurd and asinine position that people like you and your thought process and your beliefs don't matter? You actually perpetuate the messaging of the other side. You succumb to the very thing that they want you to do by just choosing to stay on the sideline. Your vote and every American's vote has a massive amount of value. You need to attach value to that. Do not live out their narrative. We are better than that. And listen, as I have said before, if you don't vote, you kind of forfeit the right to bitch for the next 4 years. Number two, the other reason, which is they believe that the system is rigged. I get that. A lot of people believe that, and it quite possibly could be exactly that way. We're not going to get into that issue here, otherwise we're going to end up with a 3-hour video. But I will tell you this, that if in fact the other side is cheating, I do not believe they are cheating in the way they are counting the ballots. I believe they are cheating in the way they are stuffing the ballot boxes. I believe that when you take a look at some of the lack of citizenship or lack of residency in that state, if necessary, how some states have gone to all mail-in voting, how you could find addresses, 3-bedroom ramblers, where there's 175 voters registered to that one address. Yes, it is my belief that if there is any shenanigans, which there likely may be in some jurisdictions, the shenanigans do not occur once the ballots get to the counting center. No, the shenanigans occur when the ballots are being filled out. Therefore, it becomes all of our responsibility to counter that as best we can by filling out a ballot. And the only way you're going to do that is you got to register to vote. So listen, I'm asking all of you and all the other content creators out there, if this truly is the most important election in the history of our country, if this really is a fight for the soul of America, like so many claim it is, then why the hell would you sit on the sideline? So I'm asking all the other content creators to help promote this. Hashtag aim the vote. Let's get out there, folks. You know who these people are. These are your friends. These are your in-laws. These are your neighbors, whatever it may be. The time to sit on the sideline has come and gone. We need everybody in the game. Listen, you may have more questions about this or anything else related to what's left of any of our rights at this point. If you do and you want to get a hold of Washington Gun Law, all of our contact information is down there in the description box. We will go ahead and link up the story from the New York Post down there so that you can geek out on it for yourself and see the numbers for yourself. Come on, people, we're better than this. Maybe you got an idea for a video we should be doing here. If you do, go ahead and click on that link right there. Most of the good ideas we come up with, we don't actually come up with at all. And then finally, and most importantly, let's everyone remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation and how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Let's everyone get out there and aim the vote. Thanks for watching and stay safe.